Hello, everyone, and welcome to the world of school Gmail. Today, I'll be going through some of the policies and expectations of using your school account for email and how it relates to things like the AUP and some email etiquette tips. So, why are we giving you email in the middle of the year? Well, we're in a very special situation right now. We're all learning from home, and a lot of people are finding it hard to communicate with their teachers. So the district decided to open up email for you and allow you a more efficient way to communicate with your teachers and get information from your teachers and as well as other students. So your school email address is going to be your Gmail account that you log into Google every day with, your first and last name at ncps-k12.org, and it's going to be the same password, and your New Canaan email account is part of a walled garden. And this means that you can only communicate with people within the New Canaan district who have a New Canaan email account. So if they don't have the at ncps-k12.org after their name, you won't be able to send them an email. They have to be part of our domain for you to send them an email and for you to receive an email from them. And we did this to improve security for all students and to avoid students communicating with outside sources. So accessing your Gmail is pretty easy. You could either click on Gmail or click on the waffle and click on the Gmail icon. That will bring you right to your email and allow you to read your email messages and send out emails. There is something called the acceptable use policy, and that's basically the New Canaan Public Schools rules on using technology. It's not that long of a document, so if you ever want to check it out, it's only about 4 pages long, and I highly recommend that you do read it and become familiar with it, especially since we use technology almost every day in and out of school. Now, there is some language in this document that does directly relate to email. The administration will take measures to assure the safety and security of students when using email and other forms of direct electronic communications, prohibit unauthorized access, including hacking and other unlawful activities by minors online, prohibit unauthorized disclosure, use, and dissemination of personally identifiable information regarding students, and to restrict students' access to online materials harmful to minors. So the part of this that says administration will take measures to assure the safety and security of students when using email and other forms of direct communications directly relates to your Gmail account. So these measures include the walled garden that we mentioned before, but it also includes things like the appropriate use of Gmail by students, meaning not using it to harass any other students or sending inappropriate images through school email and hacking into other students' email. All right, so anything you write or send can be reviewed or monitored by the district. Remember that your school Gmail is not private. It is open to anyone in the administration who would like to take a look at it. So you only want to use your school for educational purposes, like contacting a teacher or fellow student about an assignment, or contacting an administrator with a question or concern. And you want to protect your own privacy, so always log off your device. Even though you're home right now, you still might have siblings who might go onto your computer and send an inappropriate message. So just always log off your device when you're home, but you also want to respect other people's privacy. So if someone at your home does forget to log off for them and log into your own email. Violations of the AUP, including the improper use of school email, are deemed as violations of school behavioral expectations and codes. In other words, if you do violate any of the rules of the AUP or any of the things I've mentioned previously, there will be a consequence, including but not limited to losing access to your email and possibly losing access to your Google account altogether. So the last thing I want to talk about is email etiquette. All right, it's basically a general set of expectations regarding how you should communicate with people when using email. So a few tips. You want to use your school email address to contact a teacher. Don't use your personal email address, especially now that you have a school email account. Use your school email account. All right, select a readable font. If you're going to select a cursive font that's really hard to read, there's a good chance the teacher's going to become frustrated trying to read it. Include a clear, direct subject line. So the subject line tells you what the email is going to be about. So a great subject line would say So a good subject line tells the teacher, so a good subject line tells the recipient of the email exactly what your email is going to be about. Bad subject lines are very vague. Something like, hey, is a really bad subject line. I don't think you would want to use that because the reader does not know what the email is going to be about. You want to include a clear, direct subject line. A subject line that just says, hey, is very vague and does not tell the recipient what the email is going to be about. You want a subject line that tells the recipient what the email is going. You want a subject line that tells the recipient what the email is going to be about. You want to avoid exclamation points unless they're absolutely necessary. Definitely avoid using all caps. And begin with a professional salutation, like good morning, good afternoon, and the person's name. And also, spell the recipient's name correctly. That's really important. Within our walled garden, there's no excuse to spell someone's name wrong because their email is their name. So once you have that, you can always refer back to the actual email address to see how to spell their name. So when you contact your teacher, be clear and mention specifics. Let your teacher know which period you're in and what assignment you're referring to. That will make your teacher's life a lot easier. Be concise, get right to the point. Proofread what you're writing. If you see a red squiggly line in your email, chances are you spelled that word wrong. Make sure that that word is spelled correctly. Avoid sarcasm followed by winky faces or other emojis. Sarcasm doesn't always work in emails because the tone of your voice is not present. It's just words typed on the screen. So sometimes that gets lost in the email. And people could misconstrue that as something else that you did not intend. Don't email when you're angry. You tend to write things that you regret when you're angry. So if you are angry about something, don't email. Give it a few hours and then go back and try to write it again. Allow for response time. Your teachers have a lot of students. Do not expect a response right away. At least minimum 24 hours. Sometimes you might get it before that, but don't expect a response right away, especially over the weekends. Teachers have a lot going on, especially now, so please give them time to respond. If you have no choice but to write a lengthier email, use bullet points. All right, and that's it. So thank you for watching this, and when you check your email tonight, you will have a message from Mr. Gussich welcoming you to the world of email.